Thought I'd post a quick video giving some tips or strategies for studying for this course. One of the best resources you have is MyLab and Mastering. Go to MyLab and Mastering and open MyLab and Mastering. If you purchase the electronic textbook, then you'll have access to that. If not, you'll still have access to numerous resources. Click on the study area. Launch the study area. In the study area, you have a number of interactive links that you can click on. Please take some time to explore this. Periodically throughout the semester, I may go here and create a short tutorial video on what some of these have to offer. If you have the electronic textbook, you can access it here. Even if you don't, you can still look at resources by chapter. You just won't have access to the electronic textbook. But there are pre-tests, there are practice tests. These are just short multiple choice type of quizzes, maybe 20, 30 questions that you can click on and answer and then see your results. These aren't for points, but they're there for you to practice. And there are links in every chapter of the textbook. You also have other guides, such as getting ready for anatomy and physiology course, or build your knowledge database, and a number of videos and interactive videos that are available to you, spotlight videos, interactive physiology. Now, these sections may not cover every topic in the textbook, but they can be very useful for certain topics. For example, interactive physiology has a great section on cardiovascular system, in which you can learn about the electrical activity of the heart, the cardiac cycle, cardiac output, and these links may take you to a series of 20 or 30 slides where you'll be interacting with the software and learning about cardiovascular physiology in that instance. One of the most useful tools for studying for the lab is the Practice Anatomy Lab PAL 3.1, and I may create a separate video just showing you some of the features. But I recommend that you launch this and just take some time to look at it. It may look a little small on your screen, but click on PAL 3.1. And on the right-hand side now, there are actually 5 different panels. There's a panel on the human cadaver. There's a panel on anatomical models. There's a panel for histology, and you don't really need the cat or fetal pig for this course. But let's just say I chose anatomical models. I could go to a system like the integumentary system or the axial skeleton, and I could click on that, and I could then choose a subcategory. For example, the axial skeleton, the skull. And here you can see that there are 35 different images in the gallery. For example, this image on the skull. You can show this with or without the labels. You can highlight and show all of the labels. You can pick a certain bone and look at those labels. You can also create a rotate feature, which will allow you to rotate the skull. It may take a moment to upload, but then you'll be able to turn the skull in different angles and look at the different portions in that tool. So as you can see, you can click on the arrows to turn and look at it from different angles. Also, you can create your own quiz or practical exam. Now, if you create one of these and start it and then quit, it will warn you that you are quitting the quiz or practical. That's not a problem. These aren't recorded. These are for your own use, however you want to use them. Before showing you that, I will point out that you can show the gallery of all 35 images, so you can go to one that you want to work with most specifically. There are also different tabs, such as cranial bones, facial bones, and so on. But when you create a lab practical or quiz, it will ask you a question much like you'd see on a lab practical, where it will highlight a certain structure and you'd be asked to identify it. This is great because you have to spell it correctly to get it right. You can turn the highlight on and or off if you want to look at the sutures in this case or not. And there are 20 questions in this practical on this particular subject. Now, if you close this, typically it'll give you a warning letting you know you're leaving, but that's okay. Back to the study area, I ask that you just take some time to look at this. It's a great tool. Primarily, you want to read the textbook and reread the textbook. On MyLab and Mastering, you can go to Modules or the home page and click on Unit 1 Lectures, where I've posted my PowerPoints, the PowerPoints that I use in class, and also throughout the course this semester, I'll be adding videos. These are YouTube videos of me teaching the course. So here's the PowerPoint for Chapter 1. You can download that as a whole, and then you can click on the individual images to hear me teach through this. This is in lieu of Echo 360 recordings. We won't be using these. These are better because the audio quality and the visual quality will be better than the Echo 360. Now, Chapter 1 is pretty rudimentary. I created that a year ago, so I apologize. It's not the highest quality. I've purchased some tools and devices I'll be using for creating lectures going forward, and hopefully you'll see an improvement by chapter 4, and certainly as I get used to using some of the new software and hardware that I've purchased to create better lecture videos. In any case, those are some tools that you can use for studying for both the lecture and the lab. Take time to avail yourself of that information, and happy studying.